So now in lesson 44, we're going to be talking about the addition of rational expressions with equal denominators and also the addition of rational expressions with unequal denominators. So if you know, if we took something like 1/11 plus 2/11, we obviously have a common denominator here. So when we add them together, we obviously just add the numerator because our denominator is the same. So we just add our numerator and we get 3/11 in this case. So we're going to basically do the same thing except with algebraic expressions. And we're just looking to make sure that we have a common denominator is what we're looking for. So let's take, for example, 4 over 2x squared plus y minus 6ax over 2x squared plus y. So, as you can see, we both have 2x squared plus y as our common denominator. So we're automatically going to bring that down, 2x squared plus y down, and that's our denominator. We know that's what it is. So all we need to do now is just simply take 4 minus 6ax, and we're all going to do is just bring this down, 4 minus, because these are two different terms. 4 is by itself and 6ax is its own term. When we talked about adding like terms, you have to have each term. So obviously the 6ax is a term and the 4 is a term. So we're just going to subtract them because that's our sign. So 4 minus 6ax. And that's basically our answer. 4 minus 6ax over 2x squared plus y. So we're going to do another example here. We're going to take 5 over a squared plus 7y minus 3 over a squared plus 7y plus z over a squared plus 7y. So, now keep in mind, we are not multiplying here. So don't get confused. We have signs of subtraction and addition here. So obviously we have a common denominator of a squared plus 7y is our common denominator. So now what we're going to do is we're either take whatever our sign is asking us, in this case of subtraction and addition, and we're going to combine like terms and get our answer. So as you can see, we get a 5 here minus 3 plus z. Okay? So now keep in mind, do not multiply here. So this is going to come out 5 minus 3 is 2 plus z. Do not put 2z because you will get the wrong answer. Over a squared plus 7y. Okay, so now we've discovered what we do when we have a common denominator. What if we have a situation where we don't have a common denominator? What are we going to do? Now obviously when we have a situation of something like 1/4 plus 1/2, we find a common denominator and we say we obviously know 4 is our common denominator. 4 comes down here, 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 1 then is 2. We add them together and we get 3/4. But what happens when we actually have variables involved? So let's take, for example, we're going to do this as a step-by-step process. Let's say we have 3/4 plus 2b is what our problem is. And we're trying to find a common denominator. So here's the way that you can do it. We're going to take this step-by-step just to help you learn the situation. So what we're going to do first is we have our sign. We know we have a plus sign, and we're going to have two fractions. So we have two fractions, and that's how we need to set up. So if this was a subtraction sign, then we would put a subtraction sign here. If it was, obviously it's addition, we're going to put an addition sign here. So our next step now is to find our common denominator. And so obviously since we have a 4 and a b, the simple thing we're going to do is just simply multiply across. So now what we're going to have, if we put these back, is we're going to have 4 times b gives us 4b and 4b. So now that we have that step covered, now what we're looking to do is we're going to have to find what our new numerators are going to be. So we can get us an answer. So our third step, what we're going to do is we're actually going to cross multiply in order to get our answer. So let's put 4b here plus something over 4b. So if we cross multiply here, 3 times b is going to give us a 3b over 4b. Then we multiply 4 times, since we multiplied 3 times b here, we have to cross multiply the same way the other direction. 4 times 2 is 8. And now all we have to do is, now that we have a common denominator, we just need to add them together. So 3b, remember, do not multiply. 3b plus 8 gives us 3b plus 8 over 4b. So our least common multiple of 3/4 plus 2b is 3b plus 8 over 4b. So let's take this one step further. We're actually going to add in a third fraction now and try to solve for it. So what we're going to take is 5 over x plus x over b plus a over c. So once again, let's go through our 3 steps. First step is we have 2 positives, 2 pluses. So we're going to have 3 fractions. So there's our first step. Our second step is we need to find our common denominator. So all we're simply going to do is multiply across in this case. So x times b times c is going to give us x b c plus x b c plus x b c. So now that we've done that, we take it our third step. And this, you're probably asking us, how are we going to figure this out? How are we going to get our numerators by doing this? So what we're going to do, once again, we'll write these out real quick. So, if you look here, we've already multiplied our denominator by b and c, but we haven't done our numerator yet by b and c. So we're going to multiply 5 times b times c to get 5bc. Here we've already multiplied b times x and c, so all we need to do is we need to multiply x times c. So I know this is going to get a little confusing by following my arrows. Hopefully you can follow them. So x times x gives us x squared times c gives us x squared c, and a has already been multiplied, or c and x. So now we're going to take and multiply a times b times x. So we'll draw some arrows here again. So a times b times x gives us a bx. Now we found our common denominator. We're just simply going to add across. So we get 5bc plus x squared c plus abx, all that over x b c. And that's going to be our least common multiple. Now keep in mind, when we go back to step 3 here, if we had any kind of like terms, you would add those like terms and bring those down into the numerator. But in this case, we have 3 different terms. So 5bc plus x squared c plus abx all over xbc is our least common multiple.